Hello, welcome to the big story, and I'm Sandeep. Indira Gandhi, the name that requires no introduction, rose to prominence in Indian politics deeply influenced by the nationalist movement. Following Lal Bahadur Shastri's sudden death in 1966, she was chosen as Prime Minister by the Congress Party. Initially seen as a compromise candidate, quickly asserted herself, consolidating power and reshaping India's political landscape. On the occasion of her 108th birth anniversary, we remember her legacy and also we will note out how she had become the greatest leader the independent India has ever seen. And no doubt, probably one could even differ, but most of the people has to agree that she is the greatest ever leader or the strongest ever leader that independent India has ever seen. On the occasion of her 108th birth anniversary, this is the big story of the day. Indira is India. As the first woman Prime Minister of India and so far the only one, she became a symbol of empowerment and resilience, centralizing authority and introducing bold reforms such as the nationalization of the banks and industries. She also played a pivotal role in strengthening India's global standing during the Cold War era. One of her greatest achievements came during the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971, when millions of refugees fled East Pakistan due to atrocities by the Pakistani army. After seeking international support and being ignored, she decisively ordered Indian military intervention, leading to Pakistan's defeat and the creation of Bangladesh, which marked India's emergence as a regional power. Let's know in detail about her life.
Indira Priyadarshini Gandhi was born on November 19, 1917 in Allahabad into the Nehru family, one of the central pillars of India's freedom movement. Growing up amid political meetings, arrest and national struggle, she developed an early understanding of leadership and sacrifice. Educated at Shantiniketan and later in Europe, young Indira spent her childhood away from her frequently imprisoned parents. These lonely years are believed to have made her reserved, disciplined, and intensely self-reliant, traits that defined her later political style. In 1942, at the peak of the Quit India movement, Indira Gandhi married Feroz Gandhi, a young Parsi journalist and freedom fighter. Their interfaith marriage created both political buzz and family strain. Even Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru had reservations initially, but the couple eventually married in a simple ceremony in Allahabad. Indira and Feroz had two sons, Rajiv Gandhi Rose's death in 1960. Indira's role as a mother also shaped her political journey. Rajiv Gandhi, gentle and apolitical, became a pilot. Sanjay Gandhi, bold and ambitious, became her closest political aide, especially during the emergency years. His sudden death in a plane crash in 1980 was a devastating blow for her. Indira Gandhi formally entered politics in the 1950s and became Prime Minister in 1966. Her bold actions, the nationalization of banks, the Green Revolution push, and her leadership during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War cemented her position as a strong global leader. The 1975 emergency imposed after her election was challenged, remains one of the most controversial phases in Indian democracy. She lost power in 1977, only to stage a dramatic political comeback in
maybe diversion, keep an eye here also. So you can.
She was assassinated by her Sikh bodyguards at her residence. Her death triggered the tragic anti-Sikh riots that shook the country. Through triumphs and tragedies, Indira Gandhi's life remained intertwined with India's own story.
मैं जीवित रहूं या नहीं रहूं, और जब तक मुझ में सांस है तब तक सेवा ही नहीं जाए, और जब मेरी जान जाएगी तो मैं कह सकती हूं कि एक एक खून का खतरा जितना मेरा है वो एक एक खून एक भारत को जीवित करेगा.
Her decisions, her leadership style, and her personal struggles make her one of the most complex political figures the nation has ever known. Indira Gandhi's story is not just political history, it's a journey of a daughter of India, a conflicted wife, a powerful mother, and a leader whose legacy continues to shape national debate even today.
Indira's political career was not only defined by her leadership during the wars and crises, but also by the sweeping reforms she introduced to reshape India's economy and society. One of her most transformative measures was the nationalization of banks in 1969, when 14 major private banks were brought under the government control, followed later by 6 more in 1980. This ensured that banking services reached to the rural areas, credit flowed to agriculture and small industries, and wealth was not concentrated in few hands. Alongside this, she pursued agrarian reforms through the Land Ceiling Act, which imposed limits on the land ownership and redistributed surplus land to landless farmers. Through implementation varied across the states, it was a landmark step towards breaking feudal structures and promoting social justice. And this is one of the prominent steps Mrs. Gandhi has taken. And people who
In Parliament House, members were to elect a Prime Minister. Krishna Menon was open in his support of Mrs. Gandhi. Her opponent was the former Finance Minister, Morarji Desai. Indira Gandhi is the daughter of the late Premier Nehru, father of independent India. She is perhaps the only person in the country whose election would not split the Congress party. It was a proud day also for her aunt, Mrs. Pandit. Arriving now, the powerful president of the Congress party, Mr. Kamaraj, a strong supporter of Mrs. Gandhi. Mr. Desai probably guessed, as the votes were being counted, that he had little chance. And when it was time for the result to be declared, Mrs. Gandhi was elected by a large majority. Perhaps no other woman in history has borne so tremendous a responsibility, leading the government of 450 million people. She is a true Nehru, calm and dignified. Mrs. Gandhi is a widow. Her late husband was no relation to the Mahatma. The result of the voting was already known to the enthusiastic thousands outside the Parliament building. Indira Gandhi has the good wishes of most of the world as she assumes her great office. In London, at the Treasury Office, by a most happy coincidence, took place another ceremony relating to the Nehru family. The Chancellor of the Exchequer was host to Earl Mountbatten, India's last Viceroy, and Mrs. Gandhi's son, Rajiv, now a student here. The Chancellor handed to the Earl the British government's cheque for £50,000, donated to the Nehru Memorial Fund. It will finance an annual lecture at Trinity College, Cambridge, where Pandit Nehru once studied. It will also provide scholarships for Indians in Britain.
Fourth term, when she was assassinated in 1984, she was the country's first and only female Prime Minister. Fourth term.
Indira Gandhi's tenure as Prime Minister was a turning point for India's advancement in science and technology. Under her leadership, India took bold steps that elevated its global standing. In 1974, she authorized India's first nuclear test at Pokhran, naming Smiling Buddha. This historic achievement established India as a nuclear power, showcasing its scientific capabilities and strategic independence at a time when global geopolitics was dominated by nuclear-armed nations. This milestone reflected Indira Gandhi's vision of a self-reliant India in each and every field. Many people at that particular time questioned that a very poor country like India, is it competent to be nuclear, or is it necessary to be a nuclear competent country? But she proved it wrong. She said that India should be self-reliant in all the manners. She also taken the industrial revolution. Many of the steel factories, including the Visakhapatnam steel factory, is opened in her era. Indira Gandhi capable of competing with global powers in science and technology and also defense. They also laid the foundation for India's future progress in nuclear energy, space research and scientific innovation. Her era also marked India's entry into the human space and exploration. In 1984, India's Air Force pilot Rakesh Sharma became the first Indian astronaut to travel to space aboard the Soviet spacecraft. When Indira Gandhi asked him from Earth how India looked from space, Sharma replied, "Sare jahan se acha." And this is the moment no Indian could ever forget.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
और आप क्या महसूस कर रहे हैं? तबीयत अच्छी है? आपको हमको या अपने परिवार को कुछ खास कहना है?
बड़ी मेहरबानी जी, कहना चाहता हूँ कि तबीयत बिल्कुल ही अच्छी है। जरूरत से ज्यादा खा रहे हैं हम। इनफैक्ट कल जब ये हमारी डॉकिंग इधर हुई, जो यहाँ क्रू मेंबर्स ऑलरेडी थे, किजेम, वलोदिया और अलेक, इन्होंने हमारे लिए खाना तैयार किया हुआ था, टेबल पे बिछाए हुए टेबल कवर, तो फूल तैयार किए हुए थे।
Indira Gandhi's leadership during the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971 demonstrated her decisiveness and strategic vision. The crisis began when Pakistan's military regime unleashed brutal repression in East Pakistan after Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's Awami League won a majority in the 1970 elections. Operation Searchlight, launched by Pakistani army, led to mass killings and atrocities, forcing nearly 10 million refugees in India. At that particular time, it is very much more. Equivalently, I think it would be almost 5 crore refugees all of a sudden marching into India in this number. Indira Gandhi initially sought a diplomatic solution, touring major capitals such as Washington, London and Moscow to highlight the humanitarian disaster. However, the United States under Richard Nixon and China supported Pakistan, leaving India isolated. Recognizing that diplomacy has failed, Gandhi authorized military intervention. India trained and armed the Mukti Bahini, the Bangladeshi liberation fighters, while preparing its armed forces for war. On 3rd December 1971, Pakistan launched preemptive air strikes on Indian bases, prompting India to declare war. Within 13 days, Indian forces achieved a decisive victory, culminating in the surrender of Pakistan's Eastern Command on December 16th in Dhaka, where 93,000 Pakistani soldiers laid down arms, the largest surrender since World War II.
A couple of years later, India had to face the enormous problem of a mass exodus of refugees from East Pakistan. A war ensued, and Bangladesh was born.
Well, surely that the massacre there stops, the rape stops, the burning of villages stops.
Can it not be fairly put to you that you're contributing in a way to the exodus of the refugees by your support for the Pakistan guerrillas? Now, mustn't you, in effect, face the question of having to reduce your support for the guerrilla armies operating in East Pakistan?
Does that mean we allow a massacre to continue? What happened first? How many people were killed according to your correspondence of British newspapers, of American newspapers, of French newspapers, Canadian newspapers, Arabian newspapers? The massacre began long before there was a single guerrilla.
But it's a contribution to quietening the situation, as I say.
No, what does quietening mean? Does it mean that we support the genocide? And do you think it can be stopped? Do you think people are going to sit aside and watch their women raped in front of them? And say that, no, we are going to quieten the situation? That's not quietness. That is the worst possible type of war, is the worst possible type of violence.
केवल हम भारत के लिए नहीं लड़ रहे हैं, केवल अपने उसूलों के लिए नहीं लड़ रहे हैं, हम आज सारी दुनिया में जो दबे हैं, सारी दुनिया में जो वर्षों से, आज के नहीं, जो सदियों से दबाए गए हैं, चाहे वो अपने दबाएपन को न पहचान सके, वो अपनी गुलामी को नहीं पहचान सके, लेकिन हम पहचानते हैं और हम जानते हैं कि उससे आज हम नहीं लड़ेंगे तो यही धक्का हमको लगेगा। पाकिस्तान अगर आज कमजोर है तो मैं बहुत दावे से कहती हूँ कि वो देश जो उनको हथियार देते आए आज तक, उन्होंने कमजोर करा है पाकिस्तान को, और अगर पाकिस्तान को हानि होगी तो उनको मैं दोष देती हूँ कि उन्होंने ये हानि की है। और आज जो हमसे जलते हैं क्योंकि इस किस्म की मदद हमने किसी से नहीं ली, वो इसी वजह से नहीं ली कि हम जानते थे कि हमारी आजादी अगर कम हुई तो किसी की मदद हमको मजबूत नहीं रख सकती, और अगर आजादी पक्की होती है तो बिना किसी के मदद के हम मजबूत रहेंगे, जरूर रहेंगे, और जो हमें करना है वो करके हम दिखाएंगे।
The aftermath of the war was historic as Bangladesh emerged as an independent nation under Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. India's swift victory showcased its military strength and strategic capability, marking its rise as a dominant regional power. The Shimla Agreement of 1972 between Indira Gandhi and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto formalized peace and set the framework for future relations between India and Pakistan. Gandhi's leadership earned her title the Iron Lady, admired for courage and decisiveness in the face of the global opposition. The war was not only a military triumph but also a humanitarian intervention as India acted to protect millions of refugees and restore stability in South Asia. Indira Gandhi's decision to intervene reshaped regional geopolitics, cementing India's role as a key power in the subcontinent. The Bangladesh Liberation War remains one of India's proudest moments, symbolizing both compassion for human suffering and strategic brilliance. And it stands as a defining chapter in Gandhi's legacy as one of the most influential leaders in the Indian history and the name to be remembered throughout the world.
On 6 December 1971, India accorded recognition to Bangladesh. We present an excerpt of the reportage by the News Services Division of All India Radio on Srimati Indira Gandhi's statement in the Lok Sabha.
The valiant struggle of the people of Bangladesh in the face of tremendous odds has opened a new chapter of heroism in the history of freedom movements. Earlier, they had recorded a great democratic victory in their elections, and even the President of Pakistan had conceded the right of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman to become Prime Minister of Pakistan. We shall never know what intervened to transform this benevolent mood and realistic approach, if it really was that, to deception and the posture of open hatred. We are told that Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and his party, the Awami League, had planned a non-violent movement of resistance to the government of West Pakistan. But they were caught.
All the world admires a deed well done, and I think with all modesty we can say that we have done this action well. But let us not forget that the road ahead is still long and very steep, and we have many peaks to scale.
When asked about why she did not conquer entire Pakistan, she said it's not her motive and not the solution to the problem. And if she conquers, then probably it could even become a bigger problem. Her tenure also included controversial decisions, most notably the emergency from 1975 to 1977, declared in response to the political unrest and a court verdict against election. These two things are not conquering the Pakistan, and the emergency is often a topic of debate. During this period of emergency and the aftermath of the war, civil liberties were curtailed, the opposition leaders jailed, and press censorship imposed, which is justified as necessary to maintain stability and development. Indira Gandhi's leadership also saw India's advance in science and technology on the other hand. But when elections were finally held in 1977, the public delivered a strong verdict against her. The newly formed Janata Party, a coalition of opposition groups, won a decisive victory, and Indira Gandhi herself lost her seat in Raebareli. This was a historic moment as it marked the first time she was ousted for the power through democratic means. And interestingly, Morarji Desai, whom the Congress party has chosen Indira Gandhi over Morarji Desai, the same person has become the Prime Minister of India after Indira Gandhi was ousted from the power. The defeat was seen as a rejection of the emergency and her authoritarian style of governance. However, Indira Gandhi's resilience was remarkable. In 1980, she staged a political comeback, with the Congress party regaining power and her returning as Prime Minister.
Why, militarily, did you not seize the advantage that you had in the recent war with Pakistan? You could have conquered Pakistan almost totally. Pakistan has long declared its enmity toward India. Why did you not?
Well, we don't believe in conquering people.
Even an avowed enemy?
Yes, I think so. I don't think that it would have helped the situation. We believe that basically, we have accepted the fact of.
The roots of the Operation Blue Star lay in the growing militancy in Punjab during the early 1980s. Sikh leader Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, along with armed followers, had fortified himself inside the Golden Temple complex, particularly the Akal Takht. He demanded greater autonomy for Punjab and supported the idea of Khalistan, a separate Sikh state. This situation escalated as violence spread across Punjab, with assassinations, bombings and clashes between military and security forces. Indira Gandhi's government, after failed negotiations, has increasing law and order breakdown, decided to launch a military operation, and she named it as Operation Blue Star, where she had to bomb the Golden Temple, which led to assassination in October 1984. Her death triggered tragic anti-Sikh riots, but her legacy endures as that of the leader who combined courage, vision and determination, leaving India's mark on India's political, social and technological trajectory. From economic reforms to global diplomacy, she left an indelible mark on India's political, social and technological journey, and many regard as the greatest Prime Minister India could ever see. Whether it's a debate matter or not, no one else could have taken such a bold decisions, be it economic or be it social, be it defense, and finally, be it the internal security, which costed her own life. In the final speech she delivered in Odisha, she said that if at all she killed, every drop will emerge into new India. And probably that has happened. India now is one of the most emerging global economy, socially stable and internally conflict free. Undoubtedly, Indira Gandhi's mark is there in each and everything what we are enjoying now. She undoubtedly is the most favorite, strongest leader independent India has ever seen, which earned the title of Iron Lady of India, and Indira is India, India is Indira. This is the end of the big story. We'll return with another new chapter. Till then, keep watching CVR News English.